here with Guy Kawasaki, and we're talking about The Art of the Start 2.0.
All right, good morning.
Good morning. Now, I read this book about 10 years ago, and I swear it was not this big.
It wasn't that big. This is 64% bigger. It's because in 10 years, things like crowdsourcing happened, crowdfunding happened, cloud computing happened, and social media happened. So lots of things have changed.
So when you went to update the book, you found that you had a lot of hard work.
It's kind of like software where you say you're just going to fix a few bugs and change a few things. And when you go in there, you decide you're going to just redo the whole thing. It's close to what
Well, I'm glad you did, because I've been reading it, and it feels fresh and new. And you tell us that...
Can I tell you a funny story?
Yeah.
So also in version 1 of the book, I held up Microsoft in many places as a good example of what to do. Let's just say I had to change that in many places.
And you created it in Pages, not Word? No.
I did create it in Word. No, Word is good.
Okay, so what I want to ask about is the subtitle here talks about there being a time-tested, battle-hardened guide. Why battle-hardened?
Because I'm a veteran of several startups. This book is very tactical. It's not theoretical. It's not at a 50,000-foot view. It's at a 1,000-foot view. And I believe in checklists and bulleted lists and numbered lists. I want people to say, okay, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. It's not about, well, you need to introduce an innovative product. Well, duh. You need to buy a book for that. Don't buy my book. If that's the kind of advice you want, don't read this.
You say that smart companies ask not by complex, looking for complex solutions, by asking simple questions.
Yes. I think a great company start because they ask very simple questions like, what if, So, for example, what if everybody had internet access on phones with cameras? You would conclude, maybe I should start something like Instagram. Or, I work for a company, our customers are asking us for something else, our company doesn't want to do it, let's start another company. So why doesn't our company do this? So those kind of simple questions, why do I have to go to a university or a large company or work for a government agency to use a computer? Why is that? And so you have Apple. That's why Apple started. So these simple questions lead to very large successes. What I'm trying to get at here is that many people believe that to start an Apple or a Google, you have to have this megalomaniac vision at the start, that someday you're going to have an iPhone, iPod, iPad, Macintosh, Apple TV, iTunes, and you had this vision at the start. But truly, that's not how it was. I mean, basically, these two guys in a garage, you said, why do I have to go to a university or a large company or a government agency to use a computer? That was the genesis of Apple, not this grand vision that's here 30 years later.
Right, so it developed as they took small steps and found simple solutions.
And they went down many wrong, streets. They created a Newton, which was a failure, Apple III, which was a failure. It wasn't a linear path from A to B, and where B is worldwide domination at all.
Right. And that'll be the path for many of us, in that, it'll be incremental steps. And often we'll start and we're passionate about what we're doing and we have this dream of what we want to do. You tell us that having a real good why behind what we're doing is important.
Yes, because I think that at the end of the day, maybe it's just karma, that companies that change the world and make the world a better place, the why, succeed. And those that are just trying to make money, I think you attract the wrong kind of people and you usually fail.
And you tell us that it's not just the Googles and the big companies that are changing the world, but that we can make that difference at a small level.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is not written for only people who want to start Apple, because I don't think there are that many people. And what I'm trying to say is that if you start a restaurant, a retail operation, a not-for-profit, you can make the world a better place. It's not just Steve Jobs that makes the world a better place.
Yeah. You say that entrepreneurship is at its best when it alters the future, and it does that by jumping curves. Yeah. What is that?
So I mean to say that entrepreneurship, I think, is the most exciting when it's not satisfied with simply improving the status quo, making things 10 or 15% better, that it goes to the next curve, that if you are in the printer business, you go from letter quality to laser to 3D. Okay. You don't just do a better laser printer or a better letter quality printer. You jump to the next curve.
How do you think that way? That's not even a good question. But often we see improvement as incremental. You know, can I do this a little better than my competitor? How do you think about something from that totally left field way?
That's
That's a good question.
that's a good question. I mean, it's answering simple questions, right? So, Stephen Woz didn't say, "Well, let's make a slightly better mainframe computer." They made a personal computer. It's a completely different curve.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a big one to think about. You say, "I've never seen a startup die because it couldn't scale fast enough."
So most entrepreneurs are so optimistic. They put in an infrastructure of support and service, and they buy servers. They do all this stuff because they know that they're going to ship on time and it's going to be successful. Well, surprise, surprise, they ship late and it's not successful. In the meantime, they have all this overhead, so they run out of money. So my theory is you eat what you kill, which means that you don't hire people for tech support until you really need the tech support because your product is out there and it's generating tech support, which is very different attitude.
Well, I've seen small businesses, because we work with thousands of them, have to have the perfect letterhead and the business cards, and they haven't sold a thing.
Yeah, and that's something where, what are the true milestones of a business? The true milestones of a business are you created your first product, you shipped, you collected money. It's not ordering letterhead and business cards and logos. That's not a milestone. A milestone is something that you call up your spouse and brag about. And I refuse to believe that a true entrepreneur would call up the spouse and say, "Honey, today I ordered business cards." I mean,
I'm on my way. Okay. All right, I want to wrap up with this one. So at a time where there is a lot of competition, positioning ourselves is really important. As startups, what should we know about standing out in a really crowded market?
Well, in a sense, if you have jump curves, you probably will stand out, and then use social media to get the word out. I think social media is the greatest gift to entrepreneurship ever because it's fast and it's free and ubiquitous and you don't have to buy ads. And it's kind of a meritocracy that if you're good at social media, you will succeed. It's not because you're a Fortune 500 brand. So in fact, most Fortune 500 brands fail at social media. So it's a meritocracy, which is good.
So a little plug for another book called The Art of Social Media, which I highly recommend.
Sitting over there.
Oh, hey, good morning, Peg. Guy, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you.